Yo, 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 yo. Big Kish back up in here. Rapaholics is here with another one, ladies and gentlemen. Drake becomes a bigger clown in lawsuit. Yeah, he's about to cook on this one. Y'all know I'm like holding y'all. Without further ado, let's get it.
Lawbries and Gentlegrams, in today's episode of Lawbry in Gentleland, it's late and way past my time for bed, so I just want to deliver you guys the news without delivering these rhymes in my head. So we just got another update in the legal battle between Drake and UMG, and Psych, the psychotic, spiraling, sensitive sad boy stunt double of the Sexy Red Ice Spice Collective, concocted a
Psych! I just dissed you.
Courthouse Karen document with UMG where they are trying to reach an amendment. Brianna unfortunately could not settle with UMG, so now he's back filing letters
Brianna
to the judge, which we will review, just you and me. But hey, before we do, I just dropped a video talking about the balding bearded BBL buffoon's beef with his Canadian counterpart, the tiny tough talker.
Oh yeah, I gotta check this out. This joint like an hour long. I gotta check this out.
Tory Lanez, as well as documenting Tory's whole career, all the ups and downs. So if you love me, please check that out. You guys show a lot of love to the Lawbry and Kendrick videos, but we got a bunch of other artists to talk about. So for every Lawbry Kendrick video I give you,
look, talk that talk, man. Hey, look, it's a lot of things to talk about, but really, I think it's just the algorithm. Yeah, the algorithm don't like Drake, y'all. The algorithm is like, no. We gonna keep our foot on Drake's neck. Yeah, that's the algorithm. The algorithm do not like Drake. Yeah, don't like Drake. So he wants you to keep talking about him. Yep.
We will talk about a separate artist issue. I got another one coming for you guys about Doechii. Maybe we'll review the Playboi Carti album. Academics, No Jumper, Vlad, and Chapel Ross have been on some crazy stuff lately, so we might touch on that. So don't forget to like and subscribe to stay up to date on everything within the Rapaholics tribe. And let me know in the comments what other artists or music you guys want to hear me discuss. But in the meantime, let's review this Lawbry lawsuit and see if it's a bust. So, Lawbrys and Gentlegrams, essentially what's going down right now is on April 2nd, UMG and the Marilyn Monroe v. Ho have a meeting with the judge to basically get this entire lawsuit started. But in the meantime, the judge has requested a short letter that's concocted by both Drake's lawyers and UMG's lawyers to essentially describe a couple different things. So let's clarify it all. Firstly, the April 2nd meeting that's about to happen is called a pre-trial conference, and it's basically like a check-in to see how the case is going and what needs to happen next. As of right now, UMG is requesting to dismiss the case. Meanwhile, Drake has requested some insane documents from UMG, including all of Kendrick Lamar's contracts with UMG, all of the discussions between Kendrick.
He want to be nosy. He want some dirt on K. Dot so bad. Like, he needs something. I wouldn't be surprised if Kanye West trying to help him out and all of that too.
Team and UMG to promote Not Like Us, all of their discussions about licensing it for the Super Bowl performance, for the Grammy Awards, everything they did to promote the song, because obviously, as you guys know, Drake is basically accusing UMG of using bots and payola on radio to essentially artificially boost the numbers of Not Like Us. If I had to put it simply, basically Drake is suing because he lost a rap battle. But I'll give you guys the complicated version as well, because the Canadian courthouse Karen is definitely taking this seriously. Again, UMG is attempting to dismiss the case. Drake is saying, nah, not this time, you're following through. UMG wants to dismiss. Drake wants all of Kendrick's contracts. Essentially, the pre-trial conference on April 2nd will be a meeting where the judge and the lawyers discuss case logistics, potential settlements, and the readiness of the trial. So before this pre-trial conference, the judge wanted both UMG and Drake to get together, not exactly in the same way that the prom queen Petition Poppy gets together on his play dates with Sexy Red. No, UMG and Drake are most definitely still at odds, but they need to collaborate on this letter to basically provide a quick summary of what the case is about. You know, Drake saying UMG did him wrong and UMG saying they.
But everything that Drake ever said that UMG did to him is already been debunked online all over the place. So you would think that Drake could be like, damn, they see through all my whole petition. They see through all of it. All right, let me go and back because really this shit ain't making no sense. Because everybody's online already debunked everything. So it's like, I know he see it. You know what I'm saying? Hey, look, he got the same internet we do.
they didn't, why this case is in a New York federal court, any requests they've already made to the judge, like UMG asking to throw the case out and Drake asking for all those insane documents from Kendrick Lamar, what info they've already shared with each other, like emails or different documents to prove their side. They've also got to tell the judge if they've tried to already settle the dispute, if they've talked about solving it without this big trial, maybe through something less formal, anything else they think the judge should know to keep things moving, and whether they want a jury to decide the case or just the judge. So let's go through this letter. It starts off saying, in accordance with this court's order on January 2nd, basically the judge ordering them to get together on January 2nd, Drake and UMG, through undersigned counsel, conferred via telephone conference on March 10th, 2025. The parties respectfully submit this joint letter. The parties agree that nothing in this letter constitutes a waiver of any kind, including as to any party's right to propound discovery not described in this report, or as to any objection to any discovery described in this report. The parties' joint position on issues where they were able to reach agreement and their respective positions where they were not are set forth below. Basically, in simple terms, both sides...
Why you throwing up Bloods before? And everybody say he was throwing up OVO? Hold on.
The parties respectfully submit this joint letter. The parties agree that nothing in this letter constitutes a waiver of any kind, including as to any party's right to propound discovery not described in this report, or as to any objection to any discovery described in this report. The parties'
Check this out.
Joint position on issues where they were able to reach agreement and their respective positions where they were not are set.
Why this dude always throwing up some damn gang signs? Why he's always throwing up gang signs? One minute he throwing up Bloods and then everybody say, no, that's OVO. That's how he throw up OVO. Now he throwing up Crips. So what is that? Crody? Like, seriously, man. This is
Forth below. Basically, in simple terms, both sides agree that this letter doesn't take away any of their rights. That means they could still ask for more evidence later on, even if it's not mentioned within this letter to the judge. The lawyer can ask for more of Kendrick's contracts, basically. And they can also still argue against any evidence the other side wants to use. So basically, in this letter, if Drake says he wants to see Kendrick's contracts, even though they concocted this letter together, UMG at a later date could be like, no, we're not giving Kendrick's contracts away. So the letter will basically show like what both sides agree on and what they still disagree about. So first, they describe to the judge kind of what's going on, why this whole lawsuit's happening, and it's kind of funny. They say, beginning on May 4th, 2024, and continuing every day since, defendant, the self-proclaimed largest music company in the world and the company that has represented plaintiff Drake for over 10 years, has defamed Drake by publishing and promoting content that asserts Drake is a PDF file and S offender, aka the defamatory material, aka the Not Like Us music video, the song itself, etc. Drake has unequivocally denied these allegations publicly and privately to UMG, even though in a diss song against Kendrick, he was literally saying, talk about me liking young girls. Anyways, let's keep going on. And at all times, UMG knew the defamatory material was false, aka UMG knew Drake was...
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They already know it's false. Everybody is looking through those petitions like, yo, how you say this? This is, and they compare it with something from before. So I know he see it. So why does he keep following through with this?
In a PDF, even though Not Like Us was, according to Drake, implying that he is. UMG also knew the allegations in Not Like Us were a goldmine. Oh yes, they most definitely were. Drake is one of the biggest superstars in the world, and allegations that he was a PDF file, published and promoted by the very company meant to represent him, were all but guaranteed to go viral and produce massive profit for UMG. Notwithstanding its knowledge that the allegations are fabricated, to ensure the defamatory material went viral. On a side note, when I say defamatory material, I'm talking about Not Like Us, the music video, everything to do with Not Like Us. So, to ensure the defamatory material went viral, UMG waged an unrelenting and widespread campaign to publish the defamatory material as widely as possible, starting no later than May 2024. UMG...
How was this the case with Dot was surprise dropping? Dot was surprise dropping. Was Not Like Us a surprise drop? I think they were. So if he did surprise drops, and so how did UMG promote that in any way? It was at the height of the beef. That's what did it. Everybody wanted to see you go at it. Everybody wanted you to prove that you was that dude. It's time to prove that he's a problem. You and Cole, it's time to prove y'all's a problem. Everybody's watching. UMG ain't put no dollars behind marketing that.
Leveraged traditional publicity strategies such as licensing, social media, and traditional news outlets. UMG also, on information and belief, spread the defamatory material through covert means, including removing...
That's impossible. Listen, bro, there are people that literally wait on Kendrick to post something on his IG, Twitter, whatever. They on standby. They not on standby with Drake. You know why? Because Drake's always posting. He's always on social media. So he destroys the element of surprise. Kendrick still has the element of surprise by just moving in silence.
Copyright protections, purchasing fake streams, and engaging in other pay-for-play agreements. So if you guys are curious what Drake is basically saying here, when he says UMG spread the defamatory material through covert means, including removing copyright protections, purchasing fake streams, and engaging in other pay-for-play agreements, the removing copyright protections is in reference to the fact that on the day or the week, I forget which one, that Not Like Us was released, UMG basically removed the copyright on that song for reaction channels. So channels like Screwface John, shout out to him, amazing channel. Kai Cenat, even myself, if I wanted to react to the song on the day of its release, but I didn't. I was way too busy blasting that in my car all day. But anyways, anyone who wanted to react to the song basically can do so on YouTube and keep all the profits of their reaction videos, which is unheard of in the reaction community. Yeah. And it's a really revolutionary step towards, taking reaction channels more seriously, helping them out, helping them actually build a business through their content. Because usually, like, if you play a song in a YouTube video, you can't actually monetize that video. So you don't get to keep any of the profits. UMG would keep them. Drake is basically saying, UMG let all these reaction channels react to Not Like Us and keep all the profits. So because of that, more reaction channels started reacting to the song, and all the ones who did reacted positively because they were happy that they could profit off the song. And that's wrong. But simultaneously,
there's reaction channels that proved they did the same thing for you. There are reaction channels that reacted to Drake and still got paid for it. So boom, debunked. That's what I'm saying. All this stuff is debunked.
He wants to try to convince the world that he's doing this to, fight for the smaller artists, the smaller creators who are, just trying to push away and, not have to fight this big machine. Meanwhile, the big machine was helping the little guys. Before Not Like Us, Kendrick was the underdog in this beef. So not only was lifting the copyright off Not Like Us for reaction channels helping reactors, the little guys react and still keep their profits, it was also helping Kendrick. This was a really revolutionary way to, merge the new generation of streamers and reactors with everything to do with music. But Drake is using that in this lawsuit to say that that was wrong. He's also saying they were purchasing fake streams, and the source that he used for this was an academic's live stream where he interviewed this anonymous guy who said that he was paid by Kendrick's manager to basically put 30 million streams of Not Like Us onto Spotify that were fake on the day of its release. But academics literally came out after and said that was complete cap. That guy was full of cap. And then Drake also accuses UMG of engaging in other pay-for-play agreements, and that's likely in reference to the fact that he accused them and iHeartMedia, which is like a radio company, of engaging in payola, where basically they would take under-the-table payments to overplay Not Like Us on the radio in an illegal way. But what's strange about all of this is that Drake had Spotify and iHeartMedia roped into this whole case to begin with. He filed petitions against both of them, Spotify for the botted fake streams and iHeartMedia for the pay-for-play, payola, fake radio spins, essentially. But he actually settled with both of those entities, with Spotify and iHeartMedia. So I don't know how he could continue going forward with those allegations that the streams were fake or the radio spins were manufactured when he literally dropped his or settled his petitions with both those entities. If any lawyers are in the comments, definitely explain to us how he could settle with Spotify and iHeartMedia but still try to claim that all this malpractice was happening on their platforms. But let's continue. He says UMG's plan to spread Not Like Us succeeded. Not Like Us has been heard and seen by billions across the globe, many of whom believe that the allegations are true. And on a side note, let me know in the comments, do you guys think Drake is a PDF? Do you guys think Kendrick thinks Drake is a PDF? Do you think that Not Like Us was the thing that convinced you guys that Drake was a PDF? Because that's the whole basis of Drake's lawsuit, right? Is that the whole world thinks he's a PDF because UMG promoted Not Like Us on an insane global level. UMG's
there's a part of YouTube, matter of fact, there's a part of the internet that already knew about him and the girl on stage. There's a part of the internet that knew about all of this stuff. They already knew that. Now, I'm not going to say that that's the majority, because I didn't know. I didn't know that he was going through all of that stuff and he had this little addiction. I didn't know that. So, you know, it kind of raised my awareness when he was saying that. Then it made me research, you know what I mean? But people already knew this. It's just that everybody don't have a platform and a voice. Like, you know, Kendrick Lamar. Ain't nobody got no platform to be making those songs and, you know, raise everybody awareness of the things that you were doing.
Response essentially is that it's hyperbole, aka exaggeration, and that, you know, no one around the world believes Drake is a PDF from the lyrics within Not Like Us. But let's continue. Online comments repeating and demonstrating belief in the allegations easily number in the hundreds of thousands. Basically, hundreds of thousands of people are saying online that Drake is a PDF. All over the world, people are calling for investigations of Lawbry by the police, the FBI, the CIA, comparing Lawbriana to convicted S-offenders like Jeffrey Epstein. This is crazy that they included this in this freaking letter to the judge, because it was only Drake that compared himself to Epstein. On the Heart Part 6, he literally rapped, "This Epstein angle was the thing I expected." Anyways, he continues. All around the world, people are also threatening and in some instances committing violence against Lawbry. Then they include me in the document saying Rapaholics is even calling Lawbry the perpetual prom queen predator in his videos. I'm joking, they didn't mention.
Oh, I was about to say, I was like, oh, they put you in there. I ain't know that. He said, look, they put me in there.
But maybe I'll be mentioned on Lawbry's ops list next year. But let's continue. The spread and belief of these allegations, which constitute defamatory per se, have caused Drake reputational, financial, physical, and emotional harm. He was very, very emotionally hurt over Not Like Us. Within days of the initial publication of the defamatory material by UMG, which includes a doctored aerial picture of plaintiff's Toronto home, basically the Not Like Us album artwork was Drake's home with S-offender pins all.
Doctor? What do you mean doctor? Oh, you talking about the pins? Because that was really Drake house, I think.
Around it. There was an armed attack at the same residence, aka Drake's residence, during which plaintiff's security guard was hit with a firearm and his life was nearly taken. Days after that, a different invader attempted to break into the Toronto property, and another trespasser got into a physical altercation with one of plaintiff's security guards. These and many other harms suffered by Drake were a reasonably foreseeable consequence of UMG's intentional course of conduct, particularly.
But they said people been coming up there. People been coming up there before this.
Particularly in today's environment where conspiracy theories spread rapidly online and given recent violence caused by false allegations of crimes against children. I find that such a stupid argument. Basically, Drake is saying, like, because UMG released Not Like Us, people thought Drake was an offender, so they went up and, you know, hit his house with a firearm. But it's like, that instance where they hit his house with a firearm happened about a day after Not Like Us was released, and Not Like Us only blew up on the levels that it did weeks after its release, and then blew up at even higher levels after the Super Bowl. There was no attacks on Drake's house except for the day after the song came out, and that was when Drake was still releasing diss tracks. He hadn't released the Heart Part 6 yet. So he's still very actively participating in this beef, but blaming this beef for the attacks on his home. Maybe that's why Drake only released the Heart Part 6 on his YouTube and not, you know, through UMG on all streaming platforms. He can say, hey, you know, you guys were releasing Not Like Us on Spotify. I only release my stuff independently throughout the beef. Now, any consequence I suffer throughout the beef, I could blame on you, but any consequence Kendrick suffers about the beef, he can't blame on anyone because I released. He
just got to deal with it. That's the colonizer in him. That's the colonizer. He's not able to feel no remorse. He don't have any empathy for nobody else. He's not sorry about how he say that Kendrick had beat on Whitney. He don't feel sorry about how he said that Whitney's children is not Kendrick's. He don't feel sorry for none of that. It's just about him. That's that colonizer in him.
Released all that stuff just independently on my social media. But let's keep going with all the allegations Drake makes in this new letter. But first, Lawbreeds and Gentlegrams, I want to tell you guys about something that, unlike Drake, a bunch of you guys have been telling me you've been, Anita Max, winning some free cash from playing mobile games. So I want to put all you guys on to something that almost seems too good to be true, all right? Let me give you a little glimpse into my life. When I'm not making this content for you guys,
get that QR code. Y'all make sure y'all tap in if y'all interested in getting some free money. Y'all play that game.
Defamation, harassment in the second degree, and violation of Section 349 of the New York General Business Law. The complaint seeks a variety of forms of relief, including but not limited to compensatory and punitive damages. On a side note, I mean, everyone's wondering, what does Drake actually think he's going to gain from this lawsuit? What I think is he just signed his OVO label to a new distribution deal with the record label Sony. That's completely separate from UMG, right? And we know that UMG has been in business with Drake his whole career. We don't know the extent, but I'm assuming they own part of his back catalog. So I don't think Drake is actually looking for money from this lawsuit. I think he's looking for a way out of whatever contract is remaining with UMG so he can move all of his business, not just his OVO record label, onto Sony, and anything that UMG owns of Drake's music, he can essentially get back and, again, move on to Sony and independently possibly own the masters to his older music, because that's what's really making the profits, right? It's not his newer music, it's his music from 2010 to 2018. If he can convince the judge that UMG was not looking out for his best interests, they put him in a risk safety wise, financially wise, by releasing Not Like Us while Drake was still signed to them, then it's possible that the judge will grant Drake, freedom from his contract, and possibly, and again, I don't know how the law works, I don't know how these contracts work, but possibly ending whatever contract he has with them.
That's a good point. And I think Will Evans was saying something about that, how in the renegotiation time that Drake wasn't going to get what he was, intended to get, which I think he wanted $600 million or something like that. So he's saying that they did this and, whatever. But I don't know. He that's what he was like. Yeah, he's trying to get out of his deal. He's trying to get out of the deal because he wasn't going to get what he was wanting.
Granting him back, ownership to all of his previous music. We know just by this lawsuit alone that Kendrick has a similar contract with UMG where he's independent through PG Lang, but he distributes his music through UMG. So he owns the masters to his new music like GNX and any future releases he has, but all that music is initially distributed onto streaming platforms through UMG and their own resources. Maybe that's why Drake wants to take a look into Kendrick's contracts to see, what type of deal he's working with compared to what Drake's working with. And it looks like he's structuring a very similar deal with Sony where, he's distributing OVO's music through their label, similar to how PG Lang is distributing their music through UMG. And before we continue into this lawsuit, I saw someone defending Drake in an interesting way, which, possibly could be entertained. Basically, Drake's whole thing is that, UMG and Drake were supposed to renegotiate a second term of their contract, right? And Drake is claiming that UMG tried to devalue Drake's brand by, releasing Not Like Us and, illegally promoting it so that it blew up to huge proportions. Drake's reputation was ruined. So when he comes back around to renegotiate, his value is a lot less and he can ask a lot less from UMG. What I would say to that is, why would UMG want to do business with Drake in a compromised position? If his reputation is tarnished, if he doesn't have the ability to sell as many records as he did before the beef, that puts less money in UMG's pockets if Drake is their artist. But on the flip side, people argue that it's not Drake's new music that's valuable, right? Like we said before, it's his back catalog, all his music from 2009 to 2018 that's making UMG.
Yeah, all that damn music that they forced down everybody's neck. But yeah, the earlier Drake, you know what I'm saying? Hey, people grew up to that. But as his career started to, at the height, like later on in his career, people started. I mean, it's a natural thing to get tired of stuff, man. That's natural. Nobody lasts this long. It's natural to get tired of things.
A lot of money. Larry Jackson, a big music executive, literally said that Drake's back catalog, aka his older music, makes more money than the 60s, 70s, and 80s music combined on streaming platforms. Dang. So it's making UMG a lot of money to own any sort of, have any sort of stake in Drake's older catalog. Plus, from what we could see, the beef actually hasn't affected Drake's sales of his older music. It's only affected the sales of his newer music. So maybe UMG is looking at it like, we want to keep Drake in limbo in this contract because we want to continue profiting off his old music. So if we devalue his brand, if we make his brand worth less through the release and promotion of Not Like Us, then we can still keep and profit off his back catalog while keeping him in this compromised position where, you know, he can't renegotiate with us for a higher rate. He can't go run off to other labels asking for bigger amounts. We basically kept him in this like financial prison. But I guess we'll see, you know, when this all plays out in court. But anyways, let's hear UMG's position on this whole thing. So basically what they're saying is Drake provoked, encouraged, and willingly participated in a high-profile rap battle with fellow rap artist, the short-statured assassin, Kung Fu Kenny Lamar. Over the course of a...
Yeah, Drake knew what he was getting himself into. He knew he wasn't going to be... Look, he knew them ghostwriters was on vacation because Drake was about to go on vacation. It was like, look, y'all go ahead and go on vacation. And he thought, look, he didn't think that Dot was going to go the distance. What everybody was saying, 17 days and you still didn't respond? Ah, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think, man. I'm going to leave a link in the description because Rapaholics is not finished cooking. We had 25 minutes. Dang, I ain't mean to do this that long. But yeah, there's some good points. Rapaholics be cooking, man. Y'all make sure y'all go show them some love. I'm going to leave a link in the description. Big Kish signing out. I'm gone, y'all.